Solo episode 173. You gotta love life, guys. You gotta love life. Hobby's getting back to being the hobby. And the interesting part about that is everybody wants to talk about 10xing the hobby, 10xing the hobby. A couple of years ago, the hobby was boring. But the funny part about it is that shouldn't have a negative connotation to it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Buy your cards you enjoy, hang on to your cards, maybe take them out every once in a while and take a look at them. Social media makes it so that it'll never be that boring again because you can always show your cards off. Hey, this is what I'm buying. You basically have a card show anytime you want. You post a card on your story that's for sale. There's liquidity pretty instantly on your stuff. But it's got a different feel to it, doesn't it? Recently, as I was doing my news for the week, I normally have to leave things out. There weren't a lot of things to leave out this week. There weren't a lot of things going on. There's a lot of releases. There's a lot of cards being printed. Panini is still making cards. Panini Digital is still pumping out digital cards. I was surprised to find that out this week. Still selling packs. So the companies are still making their money. They're still generating revenue. They're still making product. No shortage of that. I get a text from my LCS every other day about a product that I pre-ordered that is coming in or a product that he is soliciting for. My distributor has this. My distributor has that. But with the exception of just the never-ending amount of product, man, who wants news about that? It seems to me like it's quiet. And, some of that might be seasonal, right? Baseball just ended. Basketball's just started. Football's kind of in the doldrums. There's no major, hype cycle of sports going on now. The show seasons are, done and in our rearview mirror. And maybe everything starts to pick up again in February and March as baseball starts to come into play and basketball starts to matter and football, Super Bowls just happened. And, maybe we're just in a slower part of the season. But I got to tell you, it's a different space. It's much more like it was back in 2016. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I see a lot of interesting things going on. I'll tell you that much. I see a lot of content creators that have switched to sports betting. It is what it is. That's exciting. Gets a lot of views. Some people are better equipped for the sports betting than the hobby. Sports betting is exciting. It's fast-paced. There's always money. There's always a blackjack hand to be played or a slot machine that's got some diamonds coming up or whatever it may be. And there's definitely a larger universe that gambles, especially sports betting. There are definitely more people who are putting their money today on a parlay than are putting their money on a Michael Jordan 90s insert card. So if you're making content on that stuff, it makes sense. It's a larger audience. It's an interesting way to go. I've talked on this channel and now, nearly 1,200 episodes worth. And I've said many, many times that there will come a time where the space loses a lot of people. And we've definitely lost a lot of people. Hell, I would say the most popular live show that there is, Sports Card Radio, taking a little hiatus from their Thursday live. I'm sure they're going to keep making content. I'm sure they're going to keep getting a ton of clicks on their website. But, this past Thursday marked, the last live. I'm going to have to include that in my news. I probably should have put it in this week. But it's not news yet until it happens. Maybe I don't believe that they're not coming back. Maybe I'll have to see it to believe it on Thursday that they don't show up for a live, and then it becomes pretty newsworthy. The shows seem to be different. They seem to be more collector focused, and that's a good thing. It might not be a good thing for the people who are out there trying to pump new product, but it's a good thing to have the soccer expo at the National with soccer guys trading, and then the soccer show this past weekend, and then the show in Macau, where I heard stories of several six-figure cards trading hands multiple times during the weekend. The same card trading hands multiple times. Collector cards that, are not from a product in the last 5 years. It's an interesting thing, and I'm not getting all crotchety and saying, oh, vintage baseball. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about here. That's not where I'm going. I wonder how much of it has to do with just people who came in chasing a quick buck, maybe chasing a quick high. And there are other places to get that easier now. Sports betting, for example, as we talked about earlier. And those people have just left the space. I wonder if it's just this hobby, which has been for decades just a small basement dwelling, not cool hobby. Did it get too far out ahead of its skis? I don't know. There's a heck of a lot of demand for this stuff. I think the breaking is still going on, but maybe it's just my page. Maybe it's just my Instagram. I don't see as many repack going on. I don't see as many people doing that stuff. I don't see, breakers doing as well as they were. Maybe it's a consolidation. I think that's sort of inevitable. I'll even say that my favorite consigner has gotten pretty darn slow. So much so that I went back to eBay myself. And what a cesspool that is. Take my money, consigner. Take an extra percent. Man, eBay. I've only sold a couple of small ticket items, but in the last month, my eBay has been, I got an item returned to me. Perfectly fine. Person not happy with the purchase, thought they were getting some extras in there that weren't in the pictures. But you're going to lose on a return anyway, so you might as well just accept it. You accept it, you give them a shipping label. I wind up losing money because I'm not only paying, all the fees and you name it, but I wind up having to let them return it. They're made whole, but in order to make them whole, you got to pay for them to ship you this crap back that they bought and don't want anymore. So you lose money on that deal. That kind of sucks. Then I bought something on eBay. Got delivered yesterday. Man, was it damaged. And what's funny is you look at the pictures on eBay. And yeah, there's a picture of the front and a picture of the back. But when the card comes and the back is really damaged, you go back and you look at the back picture and you can kind of see where it is. But unless you had that card in your hand and were looking specifically for that damage, the way that they took the picture and shined the light, it looks like, a glare on the picture. But when it's in hand, you sure know what you're looking for. And you go back and you look at the description and you say, you didn't mention any of the damage in the description at all. That kind of sucks. I was prepping that card. I took it out of the eBay authentication. It was a 4-figure card. And I was getting ready to send it to PSA today in one of their holiday specials that expires this weekend. 5 business day turnaround cards that were, up to $2,500. You can $99, get it graded. I'm not sending the card in. I'm not going to ask for a return. I'm too lazy. I'll just keep it in a one touch. No graded, no nothing. But yeah, eBay in a nutshell. My consignment stuff taking forever to get listed. I list this stuff myself and people return it, which is just insane. It was like a $6 item. I wound up having to give them every dollar that they gave me for the thing back, and then paying an additional $4.80 something cents to pay for them to ship it back to me for a return. You gotta love it. Now, there's my eBay rant for the day. The fun thing is, I came on here because I had something to say. And the something I have to say is bring on the boring. Forget about 10xing the hobby. 10x the boring. I like the boring. I was here when it was boring. Sure, it was fun when the craziness was going on. But this is not a space that you're supposed to be able to get rich quick in. And I think a lot of the people who came here looking for that, some of them found it and then they left. They're on to the next get rich quick. And this is not a condemnation at all. I got to tell you guys, most of you guys who are listening to this have been with me this entire run. Years and years and years of this podcast. You know, Andrew and I did our first episode in July of 2020, which means I'm in the 5th year of doing this. And man, have we seen some craziness during that time, right? It was only natural to start talking about NFTs and digital cards. It's interesting. So again, no condemnation if anybody's going out there and chasing the next quick thing, the next quick content making, the next quick buck, because it's not here anymore. And it probably shouldn't have been to begin with. And for the folks who actually enjoy cards and have been here for a little while, they've been saying that this is going to happen. They've been saying that the market is going to contract, but that doesn't mean prices contract. Because I can tell you, there are segments of cards that are continuing to go up. I have cards people have been offering me double the last public sale on, and I'm not selling it. So there are items, there are cards out there that are doing just fine. It's just not the mass-produced new stuff. It's not the stuff that everybody has and that everybody can get. That was a fun little recipe. When the PSA 10 silvers were the chase cards that everybody was going after and they were quadrupling in value overnight, everybody could join in the fun. Now, maybe they're chasing Bitcoin. But I got to tell you, there's a lot less people here. And the people who are here, they fall into 2 categories. The ones hoping for a return of that craziness and the ones hoping it never goes back there. I kind of straddle that line a little bit because I didn't mind that excitement. It definitely gave us a lot to talk about. Definitely made my news weeks a lot easier. A lot of new people coming in, and maybe some stayed. Not many. But I also enjoy being a collector. I enjoyed opening wax when it wasn't a crazy price and actually hunting for stuff. I enjoyed opening cases of cards, knowing who collected who and sending them the cards. You don't really do that anymore. That's, I guess, what breakers do. I enjoyed just buying Babe Ruth cards and not having to worry that it went up or down in value every single minute. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. In the 80s, when Beckett magazine came, the first thing everybody did was check the value. Which one of my cards are up and which one of my cards are down. Normally, those were based on performance. If Ken Griffey Jr. was doing well, his cards had an up arrow. If he got hurt, his cards had a down arrow. Not so much now. Different market forces being factored in. Nothing wrong with prices. Nothing wrong with that. If these cards didn't go up in value, these cards didn't have the value, a lot of the people who are here now would not be here. And there are a segment of people listening to me right now who said, who cares? Let them all leave. I just want to own what I want to own. You are the backbone of this. But if you want your cards to go up in value, you need more people here. I got to tell you, without going crazy on this stuff, I do want to say that it is, it's fun to see that some of these companies are still trying to generate some excitement, right? This consolidation in shows, maybe breathe some new life into it. Even my local show here, the Hofstra show, and the East Coast National being bought by a new company, maybe that'll bring some new life to the show because this show has been kind of the same for as long as I know it. Topps Chrome update came out today. I saw the 1-of-1 Paul Skeens Superfractor base card already pulled on release day on Whatnot, I think. A breaker that, most people have never even heard of. That's nice. But they really have a bunch of good rookies in there and their MLB debut patches. From Ellie to Skeens to Dominguez, Jackson Holiday. It's going to be a heck of a chase. I'm surprised I haven't seen any bounties announced yet. I'm sure they'll come. That's a heck of a product. It's not that expensive. I mean, it's like buying a lottery ticket, right? But that was an innovation that they came out with. And man, did they load up this product with a lot of those patches for people to chase. That's fun. If that's your thing, it's like betting on a parlay. The odds are not there. The odds are against you. But man, you could do well if it actually hits. Plus, Topps Chrome updates are fun. You got your rookies of whoever it is that you like, and they've added in, Superfractors like Home Field Advantage. That's a cool insert. I like some of the releases. You don't get killed on them. I like Holiday Time because they come out with cool different sets that are not going to break the bank, that even if you get, hammered on, you're not going to, your holiday megas. And I think, Panini's got some Revolution versions of it. There's nice low cost rips available Holiday Time, which, that's fun. Anyway, it's an interesting thing. I will tell you guys soon. I've started to make some significant purchases again because, listen, I own some Bitcoin. When Bitcoin's at $93,000, it might not be the time to stock up, especially when it was $75,000 a week ago. It might want to take a breather, and if you really want to buy something when it takes a small little breather back into the 80s. I'm not saying you got to wait for it to go back down to 50 or 60 where it was in the lows back in August. But the same thing applies now when the hobby is quiet. Now's the time where if this is something you enjoy and it's something that you like doing and you want to build your collection up, now's the time to maybe build that collection up. You might be able to find the card you were looking for. You might be able to find somebody exiting the space and liquidating their collection. There will be a time where there's some excitement again. We may never see a time like we had in the last couple of years, but there will be a time where it comes back again. It might take 20 years. And I guess the only thing that I'll say to you is if you're buying something now, maybe think about what it'll be worth when that next crazy run comes. Maybe you buy something now. Maybe think to yourself, is this the card someone's going to look for down the road? If you're looking for increased value, that's the way to go. If you're not, you're just a player collector, have fun. Because I think the pendulum is swinging back to that. The pendulum is swinging back to being able to collect. Being able to, just kind of buy what you want to buy and collect it and not get crazy. And I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. I hope the news doesn't get boring. I'll keep scouring social media to make sure I find news for you guys. But yeah, I mean, I can't turn the news into which hobby content creator is fighting with which hobby content creator. There's enough of that out there if that's your thing, but I can't make that the news. But beyond that, I hope you guys are having fun. I know that most of the folks who listen to this are people who are here. If you're new and you came in this time, I hope that some of the advice, some of the talking points, some of the things we've discussed have made this space a place you want to stay in, a place that you enjoy. And yeah, keep those DMs coming. I'm having some great conversations with folks who have been here for a long time, and some new folks who are excited to be able to potentially buy some of the stuff that they like in the coming months. As the boring continues. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens with the next Fanatics Fan Fest, because we were supposed to have Pittsburgh, it got canceled. We were supposed to have Orlando, it got canceled. And there was supposed to be like an LA one, then New York one was supposed to be there. Now I'm hearing they might move the New York one up. Hell, I mean, the rumor mill is out there. Just rumors that, maybe there might not even be any more of those fan fests. There might not be any more Fanatics events at all. They spent a heck of a lot of money on that New York one, I got to tell you. I mean, that was a heck of an event. Don't know what they can do for an encore for that. And maybe they won't have an encore. I guess we're going to see. Going to be a fun next year, a little 2025. We'll see what the hobby looks like. And there's an episode for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, tough. I wasted 20 minutes of your life. You'll never get it back. Talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.